Well, thank you so much, Melina, and hello, everyone. It's terrific to be here in Berlin in person, actually in an in-person meeting, and many thanks to our hosts here, our German hosts. And we could not be gathering together at a more momentous time in the world's global clean energy transition. Today we're facing three crises all stacked on top of each other. The first is our shared climate crises, which of course we've been facing for many, many decades, but each year it's escalating in intensity and urgency. Extreme weather back in the 1980s in the US caused about $18 billion US dollars in damages each year in the 1980s. That number last year was $145 billion, just to underscore how much more severe the consequences of climate change already is. And while 70% of our world is covered now in some kind of net zero commitment by political leadership, our emissions are still rising. We're not doing enough. We're not doing it with an urgency in the real world. Our second layered crisis, of course, is COVID-19 and all that we've been dealing with over the last 2 years. Job losses, deaths, a battered global economy. COVID-19, of course, should also be pointed out through our global energy markets, our supply chains out of whack in ways that we're still dealing with. And while all of us had a generational opportunity, in the words of President Biden, to build back better out of COVID-19, unfortunately, analysis, the numbers have shown that not enough countries step up around the world to build back better. And what we saw is our emissions are roaring back. They're bouncing back out of this COVID-19 crisis. And then our third layered crisis is President Putin's completely unprovoked war in Ukraine, on the Ukrainian people, on self-determination, an ability of a people to decide their own future. And let me say as clearly as I possibly can, as a representative of the United States, our country, our government, all of our society stands in solidarity with the Ukrainian people. And we're committed to supporting our European allies, our European partners during this dark time in this continent. Putin has sought to divide us, but instead the free world is more united than it's ever been before. We have imposed aggressive sanctions on Russia and are prepared to further ramp up those efforts. And as President Biden spoke here last week and into the weekend in Europe, to sustain that pressure for as long as it absolutely takes. President Putin's actions, of course, have sent energy markets reeling, further disrupted supply chains, and increased costs to consumers around the world. This unity and urgency of purpose that we've seen in the immediate aftermath of this invasion, this solidarity, has led to this unprecedented partnership that is also the way we can find ourselves out of these three layered crises to our global clean energy transition. Now, there's no doubt that we're going to need to take some near-term measures. We're going to need to take some emergency measures as we go forward to blunt the near-term consequences of Putin's war on the Ukrainian people in Ukrainian self-determination. One of those is on natural gas here in Europe. Right now, the U.S. is currently exporting LNG, liquefied natural gas, at record historic levels. And last Friday here in Europe, President Biden affirmed our commitment to further support the EU, to further support the people in Europe when it comes to natural gas in this near term. We're also working with IEA countries around the world to use our strategic stocks. We've already had one collective response of 60 million barrels to try to put more supply into the market, a bridge to further production coming online. And we also need to do everything we can to use our energy as efficiently as we possibly can. And again, credit to the IEA for putting out some terrific analysis on how we can reduce gas usage here in Europe, reduce oil usage around the world. Now, we should be energy efficient at all times, but this is an especially urgent time as the German government has recently stated to be as energy efficient as we possibly can. In addition to these near-term measures, the second part of our strategy just has to be to double down, and I'd say even triple down or quadruple down on accelerating our clean energy transition. Clean energy is ultimately what's going to get us beyond these three crises, to weather the energy crises of the future, and to provide all our people sustainable, affordable, and secure energy supplies. Clean energy is diverse, it's abundant, whether it's solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, advanced nuclear. Clean energy is affordable, it's resilient, it creates jobs, helps grow our economies to $23 trillion clean energy and economic opportunities of the future. And clean energy can free us from volatile oil and gas markets and the whims of dictators. Now we've got to work on supply chains and critical minerals for these clean energy technologies at the scale that we need them, and we need to work with a sense of urgency and purpose on that, which we look forward in the U.S. to working with countries around the world. Over this past month alone, we've seen countries around the world stepping up, responding to these immediate energy security challenges with increased investments in clean energy. President von der Leyen has clearly stated, and I quote, "The quicker the EU switches to renewables, the quicker the EU will truly have that energy independence." The Netherlands, UK, Italy have doubled down on offshore wind expansion plans. France has boosted a government subsidy for residential heat pumps. Germany's further accelerating solar and wind projects, backing 100% zero-emission vehicles by 2035. Brazil will increase its installed capacity of grid-connected solar and wind, and I could go on and on. In the U.S., we're doing everything we can to urgently, to aggressively move towards our ambitious goals, over 50% reduction by 2030, 100% clean electricity by 2035, and net zero by 2050. At the U.S. Department of Energy alone, we're investing $62 billion in new funding on clean energy from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure legislation, $8 billion for clean hydrogen hubs, billions more to upgrade our electric grids, investing in clean energy manufacturing supply chains, including and especially for battery supply chains, boosting energy efficiency. It goes on and on. We're investing in the clean energy technologies of the future to make sure we have not just clean electricity, clean transportation, hard to decarbonize sectors, industrial sectors. We've got a series of our energy earthshots doubling down on reducing the cost dramatically for clean, green hydrogen at scale, long duration storage, carbon removal technologies. And we're doubling down on partnerships around the world. Just had a 2-hour session with our German colleagues and our bilateral energy and climate partnership, doubling down, tripling down on those partnerships. We're leveraging our national labs to do something called Net Zero World to try to help countries around the world achieve their successes. The three-layered climate, COVID, energy security crisis we face demand that we respond urgently with a wartime mobilization to accelerate this clean energy transition. The events of the last few weeks have proven just how invaluable partnership, solidarity, working together can be to solve these critical challenges. We have a unique moment right now. Let's not waste this moment to chart a path away from climate devastation and energy security, insecurity, and towards an inclusive, a fair, and a prosperous energy transition for everyone. We can do this, but only if we all do our respective parts, and only if we work together. And my message here for you is the United States stands ready, eager, willing to partner, not just with Germany, not just with Europe, but all countries, companies, peoples of the world. Thank you very much.